Go.
So good afternoon, ma'am. This is the continuation of our presentation. So the colonial period, the its medium of instruction was the mother tongue. The instructions in English is only for the elite groups. So by 1986, the enrollment in schools offering Tamil, Malay, and Mandarin was so low that the government had to close them down. So regarding the colonial period, the Singapore was under the colonization of British for approximately 144 years. It started during the 1820s and ended in 1963. So during these earlier years, which is stated naman ng aming previous reporter, Singapore was called Singapura according to the Malayana, which is libro sa Malay na it includes the most of the historical events happened in Singapore. And on the other hand, Singapore was called by the Chinese traders as Temasek, which is Malay word meaning surrounded by the sea. So additional information then, so in the 1987, English was made the dominant medium of instruction in the national school system. So before these years, concern among Chinese who felt that their language and culture were being threatened by the global spread of English. So this is also the reason why they have the annual Speak Mandarin campaign. So this is Speak Mandarin campaign is launched in the 1980 by the Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew. This aimed to encourage the Singaporean Chinese to embrace the use of Mandarin and enjoy the appreciation of Chinese culture. Pero, analyzing the years, we can conclude na naging dominant talaga yung English sa Singapore. They also have the so-called SAP or the Special Assistance Lunch School, which is launched in the 1980s also. This is to cater the academically good students who excel in both mother tongue and English. However, this is only available in primary and secondary schools. So next slide po. So language policies and programs in Singapore. So Singapore has this called streaming, which includes three streams, the EM1, the EM2, and the EM3. So the EM stands for English and the letter M stands for mother tongue. A brief background about this, the streaming was introduced in the 1980. This is to help students learn and also to cater the different learning phases of students. Kumbaga, ang students ay naipapasok sa mga streams according to their level, which is really good naman kasi nabawasan ng mga dropout na students sa Singapore. Counting info ulit, ang primary school sa Singapore ay may 6 years din. Excuse me. So the difference is that it has two stages, the foundation and the orientation stage. The grade 1 to 4 or their primary 1 to 4 is considered as their foundation stage. In foundation, lahat ay pare-pareha sa mga subjects. And in orientation naman, yung mga nasa primary 5 to 6 o yung mga nasa grade 5 to 6 ay pumapasok na dito yung tinatawag na streaming, in which student could end up in EM1, EM2, and EM3. So next slide po. Ayan. So, ang EM1 ay English and mother tongue taught as first language. The children take higher mother tongue and their mother tongue lessons should be taken 5 to 6 hours per week. So this includes difficult topics including poetry and ano man includes poetry. So only children considered to be very good at language are allowed to take higher mother tongue. So, ang sabi din, ang EM1 daw ay para sa mga magagaling na students o yung may high knowledge about the language, either English or their mother tongue. So, next slide po. So, the second stream naman ay ang English and mother tongue taught as second language. They take regular mother tongue. Mother tongue is taught at second language level 4 to 5 hours per week. All the other subjects are the same as E1. So dito namang sa EM2, ito daw ay para sa mga students na makukonsider na average. Next po. And the last thing we have is the EM3 or the English and mother tongue oral or the EMO or the EM3 nga. So all the subjects are at a basic or foundation level. Mother tongue is at a basic proficiency level with more emphasis on oral rather than writing skills. EM3 students take different, which is yung mga simplified national exam compared to EM1 and EM2. And they also say na ang EM3 ay most of the students doon ay nangangapa pa sa language. Kaya basic lang yung mga tinuturo. So that's it for my presentation. I'm now giving the floor to Miss Giselle Onsalan.
Terima kasih, Mr. Toledo. Apa kabar, Miss Kong? So we can also conducted an interview from an OFW who's working in Singapore for 9 years. But the last time she came back here in Philippines is year 2017. And since magka-pandemic, hindi na po siya nakaka-uwi. So currently, 4 years na siya doon. So that's the profile of our respondent. Supposedly, we're looking for kahit 5 respondent lang po. Then we tried Omigel and Near Group. I mean, an individual na nakatira mismo sa Singapore. We tried to communicate to them but they just telling us bad words po. And isa lang po ang naging respondent namin which is an OFW. And we utilize a Google form. So much for that and here's the result of the survey. Number one question, what is the national language of your country? Answer, Malay is the national language of Singapore. Second one, what are the language policies in your country? Answer is English and the ethnic mother tongues are Singapore language policies. The Singapore ethnic mother tongue and Chinese Mandarin, Malay language and Tamil language. The third one, what can you say about the language policies in your country? The respondent answer is, I can say about the language policies in Singapore is they encourage Singaporeans to be proficient in both the English language and their respective ethnic mother tongues. Next slide po. So the fourth question is, in a scale of 1 to 10 with 10 as extremely effective and 1 as not at all, how will you describe the effectiveness of language policies in your country? The answer, 10. I can describe the effectiveness of Singapore language policies because of all constituents, administrators, teachers, students, parents, community members, they are supported and understood their language and the implementation plan. And the fifth question is, why are the language programs that has been implemented or what are the language programs that has been implemented in your country? The answer, the Singapore government has implemented the language programs are English language, Mandarin Chinese, Malay language, and Tamil language. And the sixth question, how will you describe the education system of your country in terms of its mode of instruction in certain level and courses? The respondent answer is, in Singapore, the system includes 6 years of primary school, followed by 4 to 6 years of secondary school and 1 to 3 years of post-secondary school. And here's the last question. How language policies affect the education system of your country? The answer, language policies may affect the education system because it has been presented as fundamental in determining the language policies of nation, the social-linguistic situations, the national ideology, the existence of English as a world language, and notion of language rights. So those questions are came from an OFW in Singapore. So upon the survey and the interview we gathered, we therefore ah, we therefore conclude that the survey and the interviews are somewhat connected naman po. Now I'll give you Mr. Toledo for some fun facts of Singapore.
Terima kasih, Miss Giselle. So, fun facts. Did you know, did you know, while English, Chinese, Tamil, and Malay are the Singapore's official languages, its national language and wait, its national language and the one that is in national anthem bears is Malay. Next, so another fun fact. Did you know Singlish is a collection of colloquial catchphrases and lingo influenced by Singapore's multiculturalism. So Singlish is derived from the Singapore and English. Next, and the last fun fact. Did you know um, this is the English. This is what they call Singlish, the combination of the Singaporean language and the English. Can la. Yes, we can do this. Can. I don't know how to pronounce this correctly, but please bear with me. So yes, sure, let's do it. I don't know. Somehow I don't know. I don't need la shock. I don't need la shock. I really don't need this great cool. I don't know if this is somewhat magkadugtong, pero I think this makes sense because the last shock means is an expression which means um, great, cool, like that, just like here. So that's all for the fun facts. I hope you enjoyed our report. So terima kasih.